Hello knitters, welcome back to Rena Knits.
For this particular design, what we need to do is cast on 6 plus 2. So what you see here is there's 6 stitches for the actual design for one part, then 2 to create the pearl design in the middle to separate the next cable and whole design, and then you have another 6 stitches, and then I have another 2 stitches as that would be pearl stitches. So I have a total of 2 for pearl, 6, then 2 for pearl, so 10 plus 6, 16, 18 stitches that I've cast on to show this design. So what we do is for row 1, we would start off by purling 2, and then you would knit 6, you would purl 2 again, and then here you would start bringing in the whole design. So basically what you would do is K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, yarn over, K2 together. You would keep the yarn in the back and purl 2. So that way you have that 1 extra yarn. So you want to make sure you have 6 stitches for each of your for the pattern each time. Row 2, in every even row, what you would do is knit the knits and purl the pearls. So I would knit 2 and purl 6, knit 2 and purl 6, and lastly knit 2 to complete my row. Then row 3, you would do is purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, and now to create the next hole, so what I would do is knit 1, then knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, and knit just 1, and then purl the last 2. Again, the back side would be knit knits and purl pearls. Now at row 5, what I want to do is I'm going to introduce the cable design right here. Just says this is right here. I'm going to introduce the cable, and then I'm going to continue with the whole pattern on this end. So I would purl 2. Now here, what I want to do is do a C3F. So I would do the cable from the front. So there are a few ways you could do this. You could either take a stitch marker or a cable needle and move the stitches over, or another spare needle to move them over. This would go in the front, and then I would knit 3, and then I would knit the other 3 on my other needle. And I would knit these 3. And here's my cable. So then I would continue with 2 pearls. And then this time I would do is K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, and then I would leave the yarn in the back but purl the last 2 stitches. And then again my even row would be knit, knits, purl, purls all the way till the end of the row. Now for my row 7, what I'm going to do is introduce my whole design here on the first 6 row pattern, and then continue with my whole design on the second one. So for row 7, purl 2, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then purl by keeping the yarn on the back. And then here continue with my whole pattern. So I would knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, and then knit 1, and then purl the last 2. Again, the back would be knits, knits, and purls, purls. We're now going to do R9, row 9. So for row 9, we're going to continue with the whole pattern on both sides. So we're going to do is purl 2, we're going to then knit 1, K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, yarn over, and then knit 1. The next 2 are going to be purls. And then on this side, we're actually going to start with K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, yarn over, K2 together. Then leaving this on the back side, we're going to purl 2. Then again, the back or the wrong side is knit, knits, and purl, purls. Row 11, I'm going to continue with my whole patterns on both sides. So I would purl 2, and then I would knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then purl the last 2. Purl the next 2 stitches, and then here because I have my holes, I'm going to introduce my cable pattern right here now. So my whole design is finished, so now I'm going to do the cable design, and again it's C3F. So I'm going to move 3 stitches out onto my cable needle or my stitch marker or my other needle, knit the next 3 stitches, bring back the stitches I had put on my cable needle, my other needle, and then knit these stitches in again. So here I have completed one set of whole pattern, and I've introduced my cable, and last 2 stitches I am purling. So this is where I finished this pattern here, and I've introduced my cable. Here I've started this pattern. So if you noticed, my whole pattern is diagonal, so they're not on the same rows, they're one off each other, as well as the cables. They're one off each other. So that's how you're going to continue on. So I've done my whole pattern here, I'm introducing my whole pattern right here, and here I'm going to introduce my cable. So again, the back, you're going to knit, knit, and purl, purl. For row 13, what I'm going to do is I'm going to purl the first 2 stitches, and then I'm going to knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, and then knit 1, and then I'm going to purl the next 2. For row 13, the first bit we're knitting another hole to complete this particular pattern, the whole pattern on the sand. This one we want to introduce the cable as we had here. So after every whole pattern there's cables, then whole pattern, then cables. So we're going to keep knitting until we have, and like we did here, to get to the next cable design before we start the hole. So we're going to just do is 6K, knit 6, and then purl 2. And then purl the last 2. Again, on the back, knit, knit, purl, purl. For row 15, we're going to continue with the whole pattern on this end and the cable pattern on this end. So first 2, as always, are 2 purls. Then we're going to do K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, yarn over, K2 together, leaving this in the back. We're going to purl 2 times, and then on this side we're going to knit 6, and then purl 2. Again, the back side, knit, knits, and purl, purls. For row 17, what we're going to now do is close off the whole pattern here because we've completed it. So we're going to introduce the cable right here, but here we're going to continue with the cable. So again, the first 2 stitches we purl, then we do C3F, so move 3 stitches onto another needle or stitch marker, and then knit 3, and then bring back the other 3 stitches and knit those. And then purl 2, then knit 6, and then purl 2. The back side, knit, knits, and purl, purls. For row 19, both sides, we're going to continue with the cable this time. So we're just going to purl the purls, then knit 6, purl, knit 6, and purl. So very simple row. So we're going to knit the first 2. Purl the next 6. Purl the next 2, knit the next 6, and purl the last 2. And again, the back side, you would knit the knits and purl the purls. The last row, or row 21, for this particular pattern, you would do is now continue with the cable design here, but introduce the cable right here. So let's continue. The first 2 stitches are purls. Now I'm going to knit 6, and then purl 2, and here I'm going to do C3F, so I'm going to move 3 stitches onto my other needle, and knit 3, and then move these 3 back, and knit them. And the last 2 I'm going to purl. So here we are now back to where we were in the very beginning. So once you have this, what you're going to do is again start with row 1, and you're going to do is introduce the whole pattern right here, but continue on with your cable. So creating that spacing before the next cable, you're going to continue that here. So you will now repeat row 1 through 21 to get the next pattern. And then you would repeat this to the desired length that you want. And here, this is how your pattern would start looking.
If you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. And if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to get the latest videos on knitting projects, knitting ideas, knitting patterns, and much more. Relax, enjoy, and keep knitting.